Hi. Anyway, I'm the villainess, and so I'm taming the final boss is about... Let's get into it. Our main character, Eileen Lauren d'Autriche, gets dumped by Prince Cedric Elmire at a party. He has the hots for Lilia, the main love interest in this otome game. Eileen only realizes that she's in a game when she gets denounced. Well, better late than never. At this point, there isn't really much she can do. She just got rejected, so she gathers up her courage and leaves the ball. Honestly, I was half expecting her to cause a scene, you know? A little bit of catfire.
What the fuck?
Outside, we get a quick rundown of what typically happens in this game. The heroine, Lilia, will battle the awakened demon lord Claude and save the game and everyone in it, I guess. Meanwhile, Eileen dies in every single scenario, so she doesn't really have a very good deal now, does she? To prevent that from happening, she decides not to let the demon lord awaken. And what better way to do that than to meet with him first? Pretty easy stuff, right?
Yeah!
A man from behind blasts open the door with his magic, and he is none other than the Demon Lord himself. Eileen recognizes him as Claude Elmire. He is the half-brother of Prince Cedric. His demon powers came to be when he was 10 years old and he was banished to the abandoned castle. Eileen comes up hard on Cedric and shoots him with an "I want you to marry me."
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Claude reacts as any intimidating character does, and the lightning causes the tree to split apart behind him. Wow, he looks badass. Meanwhile, Eileen just faints. In her dreams, she has a realization. This whole time, Eileen had been trying too hard to be perfect. Her brothers were more successful than her, so being the Empress was the only thing going on for her. She wakes up to find Claude with his two advisors, Keith and Belzebeth. She reiterates her proposal and gets Claude all super duper shy. I didn't realize he had a cute side to him, but... Eileen brings out a knife, but he uses magic to send her away. Back home, her father reveals that Prince Cedric will announce his engagement to Lilia in 2 months. Before that, she has to break off her engagement at a public event, which is honestly a bit much. Eileen once again heads back to the forest and calls out to the gatekeeper. And a demon in the form of a crow appears. She puts a red ribbon on it and feeds him cookies. The crow gets paralyzed because the almond cookies were laced with a paralytic. Claude is forced to come and face Eileen, and he cures the crow using magic. Eileen offers another cookie to him, and he accepts it.
You're a fucking idiot.
She reveals that this one is laced with a love potion. Seriously, how many times do they fall for the same trick? Back at his castle, she explains that she wants him to escort her to the next ball. Just then, Almond arrives. He tells Claude that one of the demon's children's crossed the border and is now at the academy. Eileen takes it upon herself to go and save the baby demon as a favor to Claude. She takes his scarf and goes to the academy. The demon got caught in a trap and the other students were hitting him. Eileen warns them and they run away. Then the mother of the demon baby arises and Eileen releases it back and everything's hunky-dory. Cedric and Lilia arrive at the scene, accusing Eileen of planning to harm Lilia. Before they could banish her more, Claude arrives. He goes down on one knee and thanks Eileen before she could be blamed. He takes her back in a magic carriage. On their way, he promises that he will take Eileen to the banquet. While smiling, he says he wishes to see Eileen cry, which seriously came out of nowhere. In the next episode, Eileen requests Claude to help her repair the castle. She wants to use the people who were dismissed by Cedric and offer them a job. All of Eileen's friends arrive to help out at the castle. The reporter would investigate the case of the embezzled funds, and others would help with the repairs. See, the thing about Claude is that his mood controls the weather. Claude seems to be a little jealous of Eileen's close friends, although he doesn't say it so plainly. But Eileen says that she's doing all this so that she can wear her best dress to the banquet. This amuses Claude and his mood shifts, and so does the weather.
Do you see me fucking laughing, my nigga?
Eileen starts a skincare line with her friends to generate funds for the castle, although now she is a little worried that Claude would outshine her at the banquet. At night, Belzebeth appears in Eileen's room. Just because he just doesn't knock, he just doesn't know what it is. He requests Eileen to let him be present at the banquet so that he may protect his master. Eileen agrees, and he also wants to learn about social etiquette at balls. At the castle, both humans and demons work together to repair it. Keith appears and informs Eileen that a rumor is going around, and that rumor is that Eileen's been sending cruel letters to Lilia. Eileen remembers that in the game, the original Eileen had sent those awful letters, but now she didn't actually do anything. Eileen tasks Ammon to go and get some proof from the castle to clear her name. For a bit of apple pie, Almond is ready to do literally anything. Claude is a little skeptical to send a demon because, being found out could cause a lot of trouble. But nothing of that sort really happened, and Ammon returned safely with the proof. The next episode is the day of the banquet. She gets ready in a rush and leaves with her father for the banquet. At the banquet, everyone is raving about Eileen's skincare products. She had tactfully sent out her products to a chosen few. This caused a sharp increase in demand. She's the whole package. Isaac meets up with Eileen and tells her that he has proof of the rumors. He also reveals that Lilia has gone missing and Prince Cedric sent his troops out to the Forbidden Forest. Lilia is indeed in the forest, putting her nose where it doesn't belong. She can get through the magic barrier and reaches the castle. She reveals that she sent herself threatening letters to stop Eileen.
Damn!
According to her, Eileen plans to kidnap her and keep her hostage, and she's here to inform the Demon King.
This big brain time.
And get this. She also says she wants to talk to Claude another time. The audacity of this girl seriously amazes me. Of course, Claude sends her on her way to the forest with magic. Back at the castle, Cedric has seized Eileen. He accuses her of not only sending the letters, but kidnapping Lilia, and what proof does he have? He also charges her of still being in love with him, and the dude is so full of himself that I'm seriously cringing in my booth. Please help. Claude appears by smashing through the ceiling, which is honestly a great entry.
Not today, asshole.
Claude escorts her to the party, but Eileen looks back at pitiful Cedric. He once again asks if she kidnapped Lilia. Seriously, just lay off her for a second, will you? Eileen remembers the time when she and Cedric were kids, how they both felt like a failure because of their older siblings. They shared a common bond through similar circumstances. She gestures to Isaac, who brings out the proof. Eileen matches two papers that seem to be identical. One is the threatening letter, and the other is the invitation. They both came from the same stack of paper, which proves Lilia has been sending herself these letters.
You didn't have to cut me off.
Eileen gives the proof to Cedric and wishes him happiness. Cedric is absolutely dumbstruck, to say the least. She goes on to sign the termination of their engagement. Cedric falls to his knees, and oof, I absolutely love a good girl boss gaslight gatekeep moment. When she comes down to the stage, Claude is waiting for a dance. Everyone at the ball starts dancing while Cedric has an existential crisis in the middle of the floor. At the end of the night, Eileen thanks Claude for helping her. She asks him about Lilia and starts listing out compliments for her. And girl, that is not how you win over a guy. Claude pinches her cheeks and calls her cute, and Eileen blushes. Keith reveals that he's been selling the demons. Well, he starts his dramatic narration and he goes, "When I was 5, Claude saved me from drowning." And this is when his demon powers were revealed and he was banished. The reason why he had been selling the demons without Claude's knowledge is that the man who sold them the land is actually forcing them to do it. Eileen remembers that in the story, Cedric and Lilia were investigating this case and proving Keith guilty in front of Claude. When Claude loses hope in humans, the first person he kills is his confidant.
So not halal mode.
Then Lilia would exterminate him for going out of control, and this is how the story ends, which is a bit. Ammon informs them that Cedric and Lilia have appeared to inform the Demon King about the illegal trade. Eileen and Keith reach there and explain to the Demon King that they were sorting out this problem. Claude agrees and lets them continue what they're doing. Eileen has a plan. Keith would continue the trade as he has, but then they will capture the perpetrators.
Oh my god!
When the perpetrators are all locked up, Lilia and Cedric arrive. Lilia takes out the holy sword and uses it to slash the incoming Beelzebub. Cedric uses his sword to smack Eileen unconscious and just takes her away.
God damn it!
Keith and Beelzebub reach the castle and inform the Demon King about everything. Keith actually apologizes for his mistakes, which is great. That good-for-nothing scum plans on sleeping with Eileen to make her his second wife. Is one not enough for you?
No.
She quietly leaves the room without a fuss. What kind of spineless person are you? Claude arrives in his signature style by breaking the roof, and he sees what's going on and goes off.
Motherfucker!
Claude's awakening initiates and he transforms into a dragon. Ammon breaks Eileen's chains free and she tries calming him down, but it's way too late for that. Lilia arrives and takes out her sword, ready to slay the dragon. As she thrusts her sword towards the dragon, Eileen comes in between. You can't use the same trick twice.
What the fuck?
She absorbs the sword in her tummy because she also inherited the blood of the Holy Maiden. And who is this Holy Maiden, you ask? I'm not sure, really. But after absorbing the sword, bored, she lets Lilia know that she's the protagonist of this world. Eileen goes to the dragon and tells Claude to come back to her. Is she professing her love for him? She sheds a tear and it falls on the dragon's skin, and what would you know? A very naked Claude appears, and I'm A-okay.
Oh shit, not good.
Back at the castle, Eileen's father asks Claude to take the throne on account of Cedric's violence. He declines, but when he mentions Eileen's wish to be an empress, he instantly agrees. Later, Eileen and Claude get engaged at a beautiful ceremony. The next episode is a sequel to the Otome game. Claude receives news that the demon Astarte is causing trouble in the village. He does not accept Claude as the emperor and asks for the Sword Maiden's head.
What the fuck do you want?
Eileen knows that the key problem in this game is the dragon stuff, which makes the demons irrational and totally out of control. Eileen infiltrates the Mish Academy without Claude knowing, and she uses the fake name Kahua. At the premises, she sees a boy mistreating his fiancé. She intervenes and shows him what she's made of. She advises Rachel not to take this guy's shit and to just break off the engagement, which is a really good idea in my personal opinion. At the student council office, she meets its members Auguste, Kyle, and Walt. Then she meets the president of the student council, James Charles. James is a half-demon who is under target by the church, and he plans to destroy the Duchy of Marchetta. Eileen has some problems in her class. The students aren't really a fan of her because of what happened earlier. Later on, she meets the game's protagonist, Selena Gomez. No, I'm kidding. Selena idolized Lilia as the Holy Sword Maiden. Later in her room, Eileen finds a letter from Claude. He had written such a beautiful letter, Anyway, Eileen reaches the student council's office and requests to be a part of the committee. There, she gets her first investigation. She has to find someone who wounded a young girl. The students suspect that it's the Demon King, but as we all know, the Demon King's a little bit of a softie is all I'm saying. For that, she needs to have a permission letter signed by the Duke's proxy, which just so happens to be the Demon King himself. Have a look at her genius plan here. She dresses up in a duck costume and holds out the banner with dialogues. The Demon King signs the letter when he's distracted, and this is honestly such a cute moment. I really couldn't take it. While on the search, Eileen and Isaac are looking for the culprit. They find Rachel being harassed by a professor behind the bush. When he's confronted, he runs away like a scared little rat man.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Eileen runs after him and finds James transformed into a demon. She hears someone coming, so she instructs the demon to run away. Walt shoots his gun and emerges. He undoes Eileen's button and discovers that she's a girl.
Why are you gay?
Eileen reveals that she knows his and Kyle's true identity. They are sent here by the church to eliminate demons. They both agree to keep each other's secrets. Back at the academy, they decide on a way to settle this case. They come up with a way to incriminate the professor. Isaac finds out that the professor is a gambling addict. Using a debt letter, he would get a confession out of him. Honestly, I think it would have been just better to see it happening rather than Isaac just explaining it, but...
Shut the fuck up!
The professor had been using incense or dragon stuff and harassing female students. Eileen drafts a report, and in it, she mentions not to disclose the matter to the public to save the victims, which is actually a really good move on her part. Eileen discovers that Selena posted a love confession for a guest on the notice board. Wait, isn't she the protagonist of the sequel? This gathers some attention from everyone, and Kyle and Eileen take it down and tear it to shreds. We'll figure that out later, don't worry about it. Walt comes up to Eileen with the news, and Ashtard has released a statement. In it, he writes that the Academy is his next target. Eileen remembers that in this game, the church members mix the prize with dragon snuff. This transforms James into a demon, and he's found out. The Demon King arrives to ensure the security of the academy. The student council decides the persistent Selena to be his liaison. Honestly, she is so annoying that everyone leaves her alone mid-sentence, and honestly, same. While patrolling the school, they come across the sweet-smelling dragon stuff again, and James falls to the ground. Then it is discovered that Eileen knows of Walt and Kyle's true identities. Eileen, Walt, and Kyle start searching for the source of the dragon snuff, and they recover it. Eileen discloses that the church will put the drug in the prize in tomorrow's ceremony to lure out the demons. Auguste and James overhear this conversation, and Eileen has to reveal that they are sent here by a secret organization, and that the dragon snuff makes humans pretty terrible. James isn't really quick to trust her, and honestly, does James Charles really trust anyone, and does anyone really trust James Charles? Anyway, he says that he will report the incident to the principal.
You're fucking.
As he goes out, Eileen follows him. There, she asks Eileen if she is who she says she is, but because they want people to watch episode 5, this is where episode 4 ends, so I'm just saying if you want me to cover episode 5 to 8, maybe? If you like it enough, I will do it, so, thanks. It's probably been a while. I'm not actually sure when this is coming out, but, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please? For me? I'm kidding. Bye!
Motherfucker!